When we click on the up arrow key, we need to see fire coming out of the bottom of the rocket. So now let's create that sprite. I will click on Events. Now let's drag the When Up Pressed block to the workspace. I will click on Sprites. Next, let's drag the Make New Sprite Add block like this. Now click on the small arrow and select Fire. Next, we need to place the fire at the bottom end of the rocket. Next, click on the small icon in front of the location block and move the mouse over the background. See, we don't see the sprite containing fire anymore. The sprite will display only when we click the up arrow key. During situations like this, there is a way to create the location. First, I will delete the location block. Now the X position of the rocket and the X position of the fire must be aligned. However, since the fire sprite should be below the rocket, the Y position of the fire should be below the Y position of the rocket. I will click on Location. Now the location XY block is dragged like this. Now delete these blocks. Let's create the command to give the same X position of the rocket to the fire as well. Now I am clicking on Sprites. Go down and drag the size block like this. Next, click on this arrow and select the X position. We will give the X position of the rocket for the fire as well. Again, I click on Sprites. Now, let's move My Sprites block like this. Next, click on the small arrow and select My Rocket. Now, the X position of the fire has been set to match the X position of the rocket. Next, let's set the Y position. The Y position of the fire needs to be below the Y position of the rocket. How can we do that? I'm going to click on Math. Now, let's move this 0 and the 0 block in front of Y. Delete the first 0 and next we have to give the Y position of the rocket. Now, I'm clicking on Sprites. Go down and drag the size block like this. Next, click on this arrow and select the Y position. We will give the Y position of the rocket for the fire. Again, I will click on Sprites. Let's move the My Sprite block like this. Next, click on the small arrow and select My Rocket. Now, click on this arrow and select minus. How much should the minus value be? Let's try typing 50. Now, click on the Run button and press the up arrow key. See, the fire is on the top of the rocket, which means we need to move the fire further down, which means the Y value should be lesser. I have clicked on the Reset button. Now type 90 and try clicking on the Run button and then the up arrow key. Now it is okay. Let's click the Reset button again.